I ended up watching Mr. Crocket last night. Now, before you continue to watch this video, if you want to watch Mr. Crocket, go watch it and then come back to this video. Because some of the stuff that I say in this video will contain some spoilers. Because I got some stuff to get off my chest about this movie. Okay, so the movie is very campy and goofy, which I kind of love. It's set in 1993, so I guess they wanted to give it like an old school feel, and they do. But what I love about it is that it's an all-black cast, but they don't focus on the fact that everybody's black. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you watch movies with all white or mostly white cast, they don't focus on the fact that the people are white. They're just people living in the world, experiencing things. And that's what I liked about this movie. They were just people living in the world, experiencing things. They just happen to be black. And I love that because like most movies with like all black cast have to make it stereotypical in some way or point out the fact that everybody's black or just do some blackity black shit. You know what I mean? It didn't have any of that. These were just people. Now let's get to the movie. Now, Mr. Crocket was weird as hell. He was goofy, kind of creepy. He didn't scare me at all. He made me laugh more than anything. But I'm wondering, like, would he have scared me if I was a kid watching this? I personally don't think it would have scared me because I'm a very visual person. So you're going to have to make him ugly and creepy and scary looking. Like Freddy Krueger was a scary looking dude. Michael Myers was a scary looking dude. Mr. Crocket, what makes him scary is what you find out he is, like what he does. But just if you saw that man outside, he wouldn't scare you. Even if you never seen Michael Myers in your life, if you seen a dude standing outside with that outfit and that mask on, you'd be like, ooh, I'm scared. I'm getting away from him. You know what I'm saying? But Mr. Crocket was just a dude. Certain elements of the movie were kind of sad. So the movie was about this TV character. He was kind of like, I guess, a Mr. Rogers type. The supernatural element comes where he climbs out of the TV and abducts people's children. But he doesn't just abduct any child. He abducts children that he thinks are not being raised well or treated well. Like children who are abused, children who are being like yelled at and mistreated, children who have parents who abuse drugs. He kidnaps them to give them a better, more fun life with no rules, no bedtimes, no punishments or anything like that. So in a way, he was a good guy. He was trying to take care of children. But then he would severely hurt their parents before he took them. When I say severely hurt, he took them out of here in really gory ways. But then certain parents didn't get hurt or taken out of here. I believe that it was because he was on the fence about them, because the parents that did survive, they weren't really abusing their kids. They were more either not protecting them from the person who was being the abuser, or they were just like going through something and not being the best parent they could be in the time. There was one part that was kind of weird to me because I just didn't find it believable. So there was this one kid who had an abusive stepfather. I don't know if he was like physically abusive, but he was very emotionally and verbally abusive. And when Mr. Crocket showed up, of course, the boy was excited to see Mr. Crocket, but then he started doing some wild stuff. All I'm gonna say is there was gore and blood. And while this was happening, the little boy was just like giggling and laughing like, why wasn't he scared when the guy started like brutalizing his stepfather, even though he hated his stepfather? I don't think any kid wants to see something like that happen. And I know like later on in the movie, it shows that the kids were like under some kind of trance. But in that part of the movie, it didn't look like he was under the trance, because when they're under the trance, it shows in their eyes, and his eyes weren't like that. So that part was like kind of weird to me, because I was like, one lady who he took the child away from who survived, she was like, I got to find my child. So she went looking for him. But once she got her kid back, she took back the other kids too. And part of me was like, she should have just left those other kids with him, because they didn't have parents anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like when she took her kid back, she was still in the real world to take care of him. But those other kids, where were they going? To Child Protective Services? From what I hear about Child Protective Services and foster care, them kids was probably better off with the demon. And I know he's a demon and he signed a deal with the devil or something like that, but he wasn't hurting anybody but bad people who were hurting kids. He was treating the kids quite well. So I was like, maybe she should have left those kids with the demon. And that's sad to say when a demon is a better child provider than Child Protective Services. But child, the things that I've heard about that service, I don't know. Y'all got to be careful calling those people on parents. You got to make sure whoever you call them on, those kids are really, really in real danger, because taking a kid out of their parents' home and sending them to Child Protective Services might be sending them in a worse situation than they're already in. And that's the part of the movie that I was like, I think she should have left them kids alone. But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent movie. It was a very different premise than anything I've seen before. So I give Mr. Crocket a 6 out of 10 ghosts. For originality, a good storyline, and also for being an all-black film without it being about being black. Tonight I'm going to watch Barbarian because people keep recommending that to me. Like 4 different people have recommended Barbarian, so I'm going to watch that. It better be good.